Hello everyone, welcome to this video series on number system. So today we'll continue with our earlier discussion which we have been doing on the index of greatest power of any prime number in any factorial number. So far we have seen how to find the number of trailing zero. So just to revise a bit, if I have to find the number of trailing zero in 24 factorial, so the process is can start dividing the same by we have to just count the number of fives here because a 10 or a 0 would be given by a combination of 2 and 5. So the number of 5 and number of 2 will decide, and since 5 being a greater number than 2, we'll have a lower IGP than 2, right? So this we had seen. So if I have to find the number of trailing 0 in 24 factorial, what I do is I start with a division method. So I divide 24 by 5, so I get 4 as quotient, and then further 4 upon 5 the quotient will be 0. So number of uh, fives or the IGP of 5 is nothing but 4. Similarly, if I have to find in 128 the number of trailing 0, so I divide 128 by 5, I get 5 2 ja 10, 2 5 5 ja 25. So 25 is the quotient. Now further I divide 25 by 5, I get 5. Then again 5 I divide by 5, so I get 1. So it is nothing but 31. So this is the way we calculate the number of fives or the index of 5, and that index itself become the number of trailing zeros. So this was the basic concept, and now we use this to find the discuss the further concept on number of trailing zero. So here we'll be discussing on the concept of gaps in number of trailing zero. So let us see, I mean, for that what I do, I just discuss with I find write down all the uh, number of trailing zeros for all the numbers starting from 5 onwards. So 5 factorial, so it has how many trailing zeros? I mean 5 by 5 1. So it will have 1. Now 6 factorial, also 6 factorial, how to find the IGP of 5 in 6 factorial would be 6 upon 5 1 only, right? Then 7 factorial also 1, 8 factorial also 1, 9 factorial also 1. Trailing zero I refer as TZ. TZ is nothing but trailing zero. Now 10 factorial. 10 factorial, if I have to find the number of, index of 5 in 10 factorial, so that is nothing but 10 by 5, 2. Similarly, 11 factorial also it will have 2. 12 factorial also it will have 2. 13 factorial also the number of 5 should be 2. 14 factorial also it will be 2. 15 factorial, now see, 15 factorial means ki, what will be the number of trailing zero? That will be 15 by 3, 15 by 5, which is 3. 16 factorial will also be 3. 17 factorial will also be 3. 18 factorial will also be 3. 19 factorial will also be 3. Now comes say another series will take now 20 factorial, and here it will be TZ, right? So 20 factorial, 20 by 5 4, it will be 4. 21 it will be 4. 22 factorial it will be 4. 23 factorial it will be again 4. 24 factorial it will be 4. 25 factorial, if we see, it is nothing but 25 by 5 is 5, so it will be nothing but 25 by 5, 5 plus 5 again can be divided by 5, so to give 1 as quotient, so it is 6, right? So 26 will also be same, I mean 26 by 5 will get 5 as quotient, and then 5 by 5 will get 1 as quotient, so 6. 27 factorial will also have 6. 28 factorial will also have 6. 29 factorial will also have 6. 30 factorial will have 7, because 30 by 5 is 6 and 6 by 5 is 1, so we get 7. 31 factorial will be 7. 32 factorial will be 7. 33 factorial will be 7. 34 factorial will be again 7. Now we'll see for 35 factorial onwards. 35 factorial, the number of trailing zeros would be 35 by 5 is 7, 7 by 5 is 1, so it is 8. 36 factorial also 8. I mean, so I can write up till 39 factorial, it will be 8, right? Now 40 factorial. So 40 factorial, it will be 8 plus 1, 9. Same way up till 44 factorial, it will be 9 only. 45 factorial, the number of index of 5 will be 45 by 5, 9, plus 9 by 5, 1. So it is 10. So this will be same till 49 factorial, which is 10, right? Now for 50 factorial, if we see 50 factorial, how we can calculate? 50 by 5 is 10, then 10 by 5 is 2, right? So this becomes 12. So similarly, 51 factorial will also be 12, 52 factorial will also be 12, so on. So now we have seen many cases. Now it's time to generalize the process here. What we have seen, see, I mean, 5 factorial to 9 factorial, the number of trailing zero is same. Why is it so? Because the number of 5 in 5 factorial or 6 factorial or 7 factorial or 8 factorial or 9 factorial is same. Because even 7 factorial is nothing but 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2, and even 5 factorial is nothing but 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Now let us see, 7 factorial is also only one 5, and 5 factorial has also one 5, and the number of 5, we have the same number of zeros we have. So because 5 6 7 8 9 all have only one 0, we have one 5, so we have one trailing zero. Similarly in 10 factorial, we have, I mean, it is nothing but 10 into 9, so on till 6 into 5 into 4, so on till 1. So we have two 5s. One 5 is there in 10 and one 5 is here. So because 10 factorial has two 5, we have two trailing zero, right? This we can count manually also. So this way we can get this. So 10 to 14 we have two trailing zeros. 15 to 19 we have three trailing zeros. 20 to 24 we have four trailing zeros. So see, the number of trailing zero is increasing in a sequence 1 2 3 4. But after 24 25 onwards, 25 to 29 we have six trailing zeros. There's an increase of plus 2, right? Earlier it was an increase of plus 1, right? Plus 1, but here it's suddenly it's an increase of plus 2. Why? That is because from 24 to 25, 24 factorial has four fives. I mean 5 raised to power 4. But 25 factorial is nothing but what? 25 into 24 factorial, and 24 factorial has 5 raised to power 4, and that multiplied with 25, which is 5 raised to power 2. So we are multiplying that additionally with another 5 square. So since 25 factorial from 24 factorial, that is nothing but a multiple of 5 square. So we are multiplying this number with 5 square, therefore it will have two extra zeros also. Two extra powers of 5, so there were two extra zeros, right? Now from 29 to 30, it is only one extra 5. I mean, from 29 to 30 we just multiply 30, and 30 has only one 5. 5 into 6, only one 5. So since only one 5 is getting multiplied here, so from 6 to 7 we get only one extra 0. So same here, now we so it's on 8, then 9, then 10. Now from 10 to 12, 49 to 50, what happens? 49 factorial and 50 factorial, difference is only the multiplication of 50, and 50 is nothing but 25 into 2. So that means 50 factorial is a multiple of 5 square as against 49 factorial. So 5 square having two zeros, so it means it will have two extra zero. So that is why from 10 it becomes plus 12. So this is the basic concept now. So the concept says ki at every multiple of 5 raised to power n, there will be a gap of n zeros, right? So if we can say so, if at every multiple of 5 raised to power n, there will be a gap of n zero. So suppose if I want to 5 the trailing zero, say n factorial is nothing but 124. So here trailing zero would be what? 124 by 5 is 5 to the 10, and 5 2 is 10, 2 24, so that again 24, and now 24 by 5 the quotient would be 4 only, so it is 28 zeros, right? Fine. Now if n factorial is 125, so what is 125? This is nothing but 2 raised to power, rather 5 raised to power 3 into 124 factorial, right? 125 we can write as 125 factorial can be written as 125 into 124 factorial. So 125 factorial is a 125 multiples of 124 factorial, which is nothing but 5 raised to power 3. So ideally, without even calculating tz, we can say that n factorial, I mean 125 factorial will have 3 more trailing zeros than 124 factorial. This we can check also if n factorial is equal to 125 factorial. So tz of, I mean IGP of 5, so trailing 0 becomes 125 by 5 is 25, 25 by 5 is 5, further 5 by 5 is 1. So it gives 5 plus 1, 6 plus 25, 31. So now see, 28 into 30, plus 3, 31. So 31 trailing zeros. That is what it's written here. So the concept is very simple. Now let's see another example. I mean, uh, another example we'll see just to, I mean, build upon the same concept. Now if n factorial is 249 factorial, so what would be tz? Tz is nothing but 249 by 5, so it becomes 5 4 is 20, 5 9 is 45, plus 49 by 5 is 9 times, plus 9 by 5 is 1 times. So it becomes 59 zeros. Now if n factorial becomes 250 factorial, what will be the trailing zero? So 250 factorial is nothing but 250 into 249 factorial, and 250 is nothing but 2 into 5 raised to power 3 into 249 factorial. So certainly this will have, so therefore 250 factorial will have, because 250 factorial has 3 powers of 5 extra than 249, so we'll have 3 more trailing zeros. Let us verify this using this. So tz we can calculate using IGP. So 250 by 5 is nothing but 50, 50 by 5 is 10, 10 by 5 is 2, so it becomes 62. So 59 to 62 is 3 zeros. So right, so hence I mean this concept we have understood ki at every multiple of 5 there will be n zeros from the previous count of trailing zeros. So previous count of trailing zeros was 59, at the 250 factorial we will have 3 extra zeros, right? Now let us see some questions over this. Find the possible values of n if n factorial has 20 trailing zeros. So it is said that n factorial has 20 trailing zeros. So how do we calculate trailing zero? That is by IGP. So it would have been given by n by 5, IGP of 5 plus n by 5 square plus n by 5 cube, so on till infinity, where n by 5, this is an integer function, which means that this is nothing but less than equal to the greatest, I mean this is the greatest integer less than equal to n by 5, right? This we know, I mean if had it been say 1.9, so this becomes 1, right? So which is 1 is less than 1.9, so that's what we have written here. So this we can write as n by 5 plus n by 5 square, n by 5 cube, so on till infinity will be less than or equal to n by 5 plus n by 5 square n by 5 cube till infinity. So this will be nothing but, now see, uh, this term is what? This is nothing but tz. This is nothing but tz, right? Tz is equal to, and this is a GP series, geometric progression, right? So this is a sum of GP series. So sum of the all the terms would be a upon 1 minus r. I mean, a is the first term, so it becomes n by 5 upon 1 minus r. 1 minus r means the common ratio is nothing but 1 by 5 here, so 1 minus 1 by 5. So this becomes uh, n by 5 into 4 by 5. 5 gets cancelled, so it is nothing but n by 4. So from here equation I can write that, I mean, tz is less than equal to n by 4. So this we can write as n by 4 is greater than equal to tz. So this is a very standard relation for the number of trailing zeros. Okay, whenever the any number n factorial, so that I mean the number divided by 4 will be greater than equal to the number of trailing zeros. So this if we know, we can, I mean, roughly say. So from here what we know, that n by 4 greater than equal to tz is 20, right? So from here this gives us a approximate range from where we should start checking now. So it gives that n should be greater than equal to 80. So now we will start checking from 80. So if n is equal to 80, what would be the tz? Tz would be nothing but IGP of 5 in 80. 80 factorial. So 80 by 5 is 16, 16 by 5 is 3, so it becomes 19 zeros, but it is 20. So this case we will not take. Now we will check with n is equal to, now since 80 is there, so n is equal to 80, 81, 82, 83, 84 all have same number of fives, so they will all have 19 zeros. So these cases we will not take. Now we will try with n is equal to 85, right? So n is equal to 85. tz would be 85 by 5 is 17, 17 by 5 is 3, 3 by 5 is 0, so this becomes 20, and this is what is there in the question. So it means that uh, n would be what? 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. All these five numbers have a 20 number of trailing zeros. The next count, I mean, if you check for n is equal to 90, and n is equal to 90 is the next multiple of 5. From 85, the next multiple would be 90. So next multiple certainly, this is the next multiple of 5 raised to power 1. So it should have a one more power of 5. Let us check that. So 90 by 5 is 18. 18 by 5 is 3. So it becomes 21 zeros. So this is so 90 should not be there. So what is our answer then? This is our answer, right? 85, 86, 87, 88. So that is the answer we should be writing here. So find the possible values of n, so that n is 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. So this is the answer, but as a concept we learned that 80 factorial has 19 zero, and the same number of zeros will be there in 81, 82, 83, 84 factorial, because all have same number of 5. Now next multiple of 5 from 84, the next number is 85, so it is a another multiple of 5. So it will have one more zero, that is 20, and the same number of zero will be from 85 to 89. Next multiple 90, next multiple of 5 is 90. So since it is I mean 5 raised to power 1 times the previous number 85, so therefore it will have one more power of 5, therefore 21 zeros. However, our answer actually is limited to this 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. Let us see another problem here. Here tz is nothing but 23 zeros. So now it is given that find the possible value if n factorial 20. So now we have seen here this is standard relationship that for number of trailing zeros it is n by 4 greater than equal to tz, n by 4 greater than equal to tz. So n by 4 greater than equal to 23, n greater than equal to 92. So this n now it roughly gives us a range from where we should start checking. I mean randomly also we can check. I mean we can try. Okay, 50 factorial gives us 2n zeros. Then we check with 75 factorial. So 75 factorial gives us 18 zeros. So this way we can check and arrive at some number. But this relationship gives us a very narrow and a very accurate range from where we should start checking. So I mean it gives that we should start checking from n is equal to 92 factorial. So number of trailing zeros in 92 is 92 by 5 which is 18, 18 by 5 which is 3. So it becomes 21 zero, but we want 23, right? So this is not a possible case, right? So now what should we check? The next multiple of 5 from 92, the next multiple of 5 is n95, n is equal to 95. But we should directly we can say कि even that will not be satisfying because it will have tz just one more tz, that is from 22. That one check also 95 by 5 is 19 and 19 by 5 is 3. So it is 22. This also is not a possible. So the next multiple we will check n is equal to 100 factorial. What would be the tz? See from I mean directly we can say 95 to 100. This is a 100 is a multiple of 25, right? So it is a multiple of 5 square from the previous number. So the number of zeros would be actually 2 more than 22, which is 24. Let us see. The same we'll get 100 by 5 is 20, 20 by 5 is 4. So that is 24, and that we have got directly only. So now see what do we get? I mean from 90 n is equal to 90 factorial to 94 factorial, the tz is 21. N is equal to 95 factorial till 99 factorial, tz is 22, and n is equal to 100 factorial till 104 factorial, tz would be 24, right? So we do not have any number which has a trailing zero of 23, right? So therefore the answer is there are no any there is no value of n, no possible value of n which has n factorial which has 23 zeros, right? So the approach and the method we have understood ki how should we proceed. We'll find that narrow range, I mean that gives us ki n greater than equal to 92. From there we will check and we'll get the those values. Here we got that there's no value of n which has 23 number of trailing zeros. Whenever I write zeros it means trailing zeros. Trailing zeros means the zero at the end of any number. Now, see, this question is again important. N factorial has two more trailing zeros. N factorial has two more trailing zeros than n minus 1 factorial. So, see, I mean, if n factorial has two more trailing zeros, so certainly it means that if n minus 1 factorial is something 5 raised to power k, so n factorial must be 5 raised to power k plus 2, right? Right, k1, say suppose k1 plus 2. Then only because n factorial must have two additional powers of 5, then only it has two more trailing zeros. So this is the basic concept. So n factorial is nothing but 5 raised to power 2 into some k into n minus 1 factorial, right? Where k is not a multiple of 5, right? Why so? See, we want only two additional zeros. So that is why we have put at 5 raised to power 2 here. Now if k takes a value of 5, it becomes 5 raised to power 3. So now in that case, n will have 3 more zeros than n minus 1 factorial, which will violate the terms of the question. So that is why k should not take a value of any multiple of 5, right? So this we understood. So now this question we can further solve as n into n minus 1 factorial is nothing but 25k into n minus 1 factorial. This will cancel out. So from here I can write that n factorial is nothing but, sorry, n is nothing but 25k, right? So n is a multiple of 25. So what can we write? N is a multiple of 25. So how many 3 digit values can n take, right? So what are the possible 3 digit values which n can take? So n can take 100, which is 25 into 4. It can take 125, which is 125 into 5, till it can take 1000. I mean, it will take here 875 and then 1000. But 1000 should not be taken because this is a 4 digit number. So n will take these values, right? From 100 to 875. So number of 3 digit multiples of 25 directly, I mean, we can find 3 digits highest number is what? 999. 3 digits lowest number is 100. By 25 is a common difference plus 1. I mean, this is just a formula to find the number of terms of a AP series with a common difference 25 and the terms of the series lying between 100 and 999. So this is nothing but, I mean, this is a greatest integer function. So this becomes 899. 899 upon 25. This we can divide. So it becomes, right. So it becomes 00. So this is like 36 decimal something. So this becomes 36 decimal something. So integral value would be 36. I mean 36 decimal something. So integral value would be 36 plus 1, which is 37. Right. Now let us see. So this is the 3 digit multiples of 25. This, but this also contains those numbers which are multiple of 5 raised to power 3, and we don't want 5 raised to power 3. We have written k should not be a multiple of 5, whereas here, I mean, if 125 is such number, so here k is equal to 5. So those numbers we need to reduce. So subtract multiples of 125, right? So how many multiples would be there? 120, that is 125, 250, 375, 500, 625, 750, 875. Next would be 1000, but this we need not take. So how many values are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 values are there. So 7 values. Here 37 values. and here 7 values. Acha, this also has a multiple of which is of the form 625, right? Which we have actually taken out here. So what will be the number of then A? So therefore the required number of possible values of n is nothing but what, 37 minus 7, which is 30. So 30 values, right? So this is very straightforward. I mean, what we did, we first found the that n should be in the form of 25k, and then 25k what are possible numbers. So 20k is equal to 4 5 10. I mean, here we can know that 875 is nothing but if I find 875 by 25, 35, right? So here it is 35. Sorry, then this is 75, no, this is 149, this becomes 35. Calculation mistake. This is 24, so this becomes 35 decimal xx, right? Hmm. So here it is nothing but 35. We'll get 35.xx, 35 plus 136 values, and here it is 7 values. So 36 minus 7, which is 29, is the answer. So basically what I did, I mean, see, it can take till 35, right? So this we had actually calculated here also, but anyway, uh, we can get through various ways. So now we have to find the number of 3-digit multiples of 25 that we calculated using the highest 3-digit number minus the lowest 3-digit number upon the common difference 25 plus 1. So this becomes 35 plus 1, 36 values. Similarly, here it is 125. I mean, then we subtract the multiples of 125. Why? Because we do not want 3 or 4 powers of 5. We want exactly 2 powers of 5. So to subtract those cases, we will subtract the multiples of 125. So this is nothing but 125, 250, 375, 500. Now one thing to we need not now subtract the multiples of 5 raised to power 4, which is 625, because that is already subtracted here, because the multiples of 125k will also contain the multiples of 5 raised to power 4, right? So that is already subtracted here, so that we need not count. So the final answer would be here 29. So this was an important concept, and the approach was quite uh, significant to learn here and understand. So that we have, let me erase the calculation part. Yeah, so this is the way. Now we'll solve another question. So n factorial has 3 more trailing zeros than n minus 1 factorial. Now this is another, yeah. So it says that n factorial has 3 more trailing zeros than n minus 1 factorial. So certainly n factorial must be in a form of 5 raised to power 3 into some natural number k into n minus 1 factorial, where k is not a multiple of. So here we can solve this as n into n minus 1 factorial is nothing but 125 into k into n minus 1 factorial. This gets cancelled out. So from here I can write n is equal to nothing but 125k, right? So we have to find the three digit values which n can take. So now see what are values can n take. N can take uh, I mean n is equal to 125k. So that is nothing but 125, then it can be 250, so on 10,000, but it cannot be 8,000, right? 1,000, because this is a four digit number. So what is it? It cannot be 1,000. So basically we calculate the number of three digit multiples of 125. That is nothing but what? Highest three digit number minus lowest upon the common difference, which is 1, and this in the integral function plus 1. So this will be nothing but 899 by 125. This will give something 6 decimal xx. So this you can divide, I mean 899 upon 125. So this will be 125 6 ja 850, then 49 is a remainder, right? So 6.xx. So it becomes 6.xx means 6, integral value 6, and plus 1, which is 7. And in fact this we had calculated also in the previous term. We had counted all the digits 125, 250, 375, and all those, right? So the number of so it becomes 7 values. But this also contains, we need to subtract the case if there is any case which is of the form 5 raised to power 4. So we have to find number of multiple of 625 in n. So that is nothing but 625k. How many values can be there? I mean this we need to subtract here. So that will be nothing but again 999 minus 100 by 625 plus 1, right? So here it becomes 899 upon 6.25, that is 1 point something. So 1 plus 1, 2. But do we get two numbers? No, I don't think we'll get two numbers, because what we will get is 625 only at k is equal to 1. I mean, let this be k2 since this is k1, right? So k2 is equal to 1, we'll get 625. So only one number would be there. Uh, Other number would be more than 1,000. So that is a four digit number. So this is one only. I mean, it will not be two. So that one number will have to. So that is only, that is one value. One value. So required number of possible values of n is nothing but 7 minus 1, which is 6. So 6 is the answer here. What we did, we found the all the 3-digit multiples of 125, that we got a 7 in number. Then we subtracted one case which is of 5 of the multiple of 5 raised to power 4. So that is nothing but 625 ka multiple, that we have only one multiple which is 625. So that we subtracted. So total 7 cases minus one case, 6 cases. So that is the answer. Now this is another important question. Let us see how do we solve this. N factorial has 3 more trailing zeros than n minus 3 factorial. So it says that n factorial has 3 more trailing zeros than n minus 3 factorial. Right. So this we can write as nothing but n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into n minus 3 factorial is nothing but 5 cube into k into n minus 3 factorial. This cancels out. So from here we get that n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 is equal to 125k, right? So now let us see what does this mean. So it means that n, I mean these are three consecutive numbers, right? So that should be somewhere around multiple of 125. So let us see. I mean if n is equal to 120, I mean n can take what on value, 125, 250, then 375, 500, 625, 750, 875. That's it. But even 625 would not be there, because if 625 would be there, then it will have four factors. So this we will take out, because this has four powers of 5. So what remains is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cases, right? 6 cases are there in front of us. So what would it be? Now see, if we take a case of I mean 125, if n is equal to 125, so we know that 125 factorial tj would be how much, how many number of zeros for 125? This is nothing but 25 plus 5 plus 1, which is 31 zeros. So 125 to 130, it will have 125 to 129, it will have 31 zeros if n. So now let me make cases here. How to make cases? If n is equal to, so what would be the tz, and what would be the n minus 3 factorial, and what would be the tz, right? So this is if n is equal to 124 5, it becomes 122 factorial. 125 has 31 zeros. 122 will have 24 plus 4, which is 28 zeros. So 3 zero extra. This is a fine case. Now if we know that even 126 will have 31 zero, and 123 will have again 28 zeros. 127 factorial will again have 31 zeros, and 124 factorial will have 28 zeros, right? Now can I take 128 here? 128 factorial will have 31 zero, but n minus 3 will be 125 factorial, which will have 31 zero. So this is not a suitable case, right? So these three cases are right, but this is not a suitable case. So similarly, now if I check for 120, n is equal to 250. Now if I check for n is equal to 250 factorial, 250 factorial, so the number of zeros would be how many? 25, 50 plus 10 plus 2, which is 62 zeros, and n minus 2 would be 248 factorial, sorry, n minus 3, so 247 factorial. So here number of zeros will be 5 4 ja 20, 5 9 ja, then 5 9 ja 45, 5 1 ja. So this is nothing but uh, 59. So three more zeros. Fine. This case is fine. Then if I take 251, here it will be 248, and 252, here it will have 247. So here also 62 zeros, here also 62 zeros, here 59, here 59. So now see, but as and when I take 253 factorial, here it will have 62 zero, but now it becomes 250 factorial here, n minus 3, which will have 62 zeros, right? So this is not a valid case. So what can we see? For every n uh, value of n, we are getting three possible values associated, because we are concerned with n minus 3. Every n value can give three cases of n minus 3, right? So therefore we have six values of n. So six values of n will give 18 possible, which are 5x, I mean multiple of 5 will give 18 possible values of n, right? So uh, I mean three values for 125, three values for 250, similarly three values we'll get for 375, three values for 500, and that's that way. Here a thing to remember, I mean we need to check whether what about the cases which are close to 1000. So suppose I'm in 999 factorial. If we say 999 factorial, here it will be 996 factorial. Both will have same number of zeros. So that is again not a case. So I mean those cases will not impact our answer, right? Because both are having same, and four digit we do not have to venture into. So total number of values of n, possible values of n is equal to 18, right? This is fine. Now, I mean, I will just revise the concept here, which we have used. We have to look into three digit values only. So for that, we identified the multiples of n, which are 125, 250, 375. We did not take 625 because it has a four powers of 5. Now, this for every multiple of 5 which n can take, there are two other values also which, if n takes, the n minus 3 will have the will satisfy the terms of the question, right? So those are also fairly good. So those three cases, for every multiple of 5 there are six multiples of 5 which can satisfy, so we'll get 6 into 3, 18 cases, right? So 18 cases is the answer here. Now this is another important question which we'll look into. Now see here, it's given that n is equal to 3 into 10 into 17 into 24, so on till 1046. Now see, this is a AP series basically, because all the terms are differing by a difference of 7. 3 plus 7 10, 7 10 plus 7 17 plus 7 24. So that any general term of a AP series can be given by a plus n minus 1 into d, where a is the first term and d is the common difference, n is the nth term of the year. So here a we know is 3, n is the variable nth term, d is the 7. So we can say that it is nothing but 7n minus 4, the generic term. So tn is nothing but 7n minus 4. Now we have to find the number of trailing zeros. So we know the number of zeros at the end is determined by the number of 2's and the number of 5's. So since this is not a factorial, so we cannot say for sure that the number of 5's will be less than number of 2's. We need to be very meticulous here, and we check for both number of 5's and number of 2's. So first the number of 5. We will check the index of 5 in n. So for index of 5, I mean what uh, it should be? It should be, if Tn is equal to 7n minus 4 is of a form 5k, then that will give the number of 5's, right? If the any term of the AP series of the form 5k Okay, then that term will give me at least 1 5. So let us find how many terms are there. So we will equate this. So I just make it in a 3 here. So first is Tn is equal to 7n minus 4 is equal to 5k. So from here I can say that uh, 5k is nothing but 5n plus 2n minus 4. Now LHS is a multiple of 5, so RHS must be a multiple of 5. So from here what I can say, it, so 2n minus 4, if this is star, so this can take a value of 0 or 5 or 10, so on. So if I put this as 0, I get n is equal to nothing but 2. So I substitute n is equal to 2 here in the equation. So I get first term as 10, and then the subsequent, so general term I can write as nothing but uh, Tn, which are multiple of 5, which are multiple of 5, is given by LCM of 7 and 5 plus I substitute n is equal to 2 here, so I get 7 to the 14 minus 4 10. So this becomes the smallest remainder. So this is nothing but 35x plus 10, right? So this is the general term, and this has to satisfy n also, because this is a term which is found in this overall n. So how many such terms are there? And these terms are multiple of 5. So this we will find out. So basically what I do here, I equate this to the last term to find. Yeah. So if uh, 35x plus 10 is equal to 1046, x is nothing but 1036 by 35. So this I divide here. Uh, so 35 1036. Let me use calculator. You can in cat you can use the calculator now. So 1036 divided by 35, 29.6. So we will take the integral value, because 29.6, so this is nothing but 29, x is equal to 29. So x can take which one values? 0 1 2 10 29, right? So there are 30 multiples of 5. So at least 30 multiples of 5 are there, right? Fine. So at least 30 zeros should be there, at least 30 zeros. But we do not know. There may be some multiples of 5 which has, in the form of 25, 25k, which must be in the. So there we'll get two zeros. So those cases we need to find. So now I equate Tn, I mean to get index of 5 square, I equate Tn is equal to 7n minus 4, and that I equate to 25k1, say suppose. So here I will get 7n minus 4 is nothing but 21k1 plus 4k1, right? This 4 I will add this side. So this is multiple of 7, so this should be a multiple of 7 rather. So here k1 is equal to 6 will satisfy this, right? K1 is equal to 6, then it will be a multiple of 7. So Tn, which are multiple of 25, that is what? That is given by LCM of 7 into 25, plus we will substitute k1 is equal to 6 in the equation. So 25 6 ja 150. So this we can write as 175y plus 150. right? And this we will equate to the last term to find uh, the value of y becomes uh, y becomes here 6 996 by 175 996 by 175, so that is nothing but 5.69. So typically y can take which one value? 0 1 2 3 4 and 5. So therefore there are 6 multiples of 25. So now see, 6 multiples of 25, that has already been counted in this 30, but here this 30 we are counting for one power of 5, and here from here we'll get additional power of 5. So now we can have say there are 36 powers, at least 36 powers. Now we'll check for multiples of 125 also. I mean 5 raised to power 3. So index of 5 cube we will check. So Tn is equal to nothing but 7n minus 4 is equal to 125 k3, right? So this we can say that 7n is equal to 119 k3 plus 6 k3 plus 4. So this is a multiple, LHS is a multiple of 7, so RHS must be a multiple of 7. So this term will equate either with, this should be 0 7 14 and so on. So if we equate to 7, no, it gives 3, k3 will be 21, then also it's not giving 28 if we do, so then it is giving, yeah. So k3 will be, I mean we'll equate this to 28, so it k3 will be 24 by 6, which is 4, right? So the Tn, which are multiple of 125, is nothing but LCM of 7 and 125, plus we will substitute k3 is equal to 4 here, so 125 into 4, it becomes 500, right? So this is nothing but 125 7 ja, it becomes I think 875, 875 z plus 500, this will equate to 1046. So here it will be nothing but, see, z we can find as 1046 minus 500, which is 546 upon 875. So this is giving as 0. Z is equal to 0 in the only solution, right? So Z can take all values which is, I mean, take only 0. So if Z is equal to 0, then it becomes 500. No, but 500 is not a multiple of 125. How come it's coming? Yeah, yeah, it's a multiple of 125. Yeah. Hmm. So it's 0. So only there, only one value. So total number of zero, I mean total number of fives. So therefore, what we can say, total number of, or total index of 5 is nothing but 30 plus 6 plus 1. It becomes 37 values, right? So 5 has 37 powers. I mean, power of 5 is 37. Now, should we also check the powers of 2? So see, I mean, powers of 2 here would be more than power of 5. Why? That we can check again by equating this 7n minus 4 is equal to 2k. So because 10 5 would be repeating after a gap of every 35, right? But 2 we can see is repeating after a gap of just 14, 10, 24, and that to 24 has a more, so certainly power of 2 would be more here, that you can check back home as a backup calculation. But in this equation, this I have done, the number of index of 2 would be more than the number of index of 5, so 5 being a limiting case, so therefore, so the number of trailing zeros is nothing but 37. This is the answer, right? Now we'll see next question. Find the number of trailing zeros in 1, 5, 9, 13, 17, 153, so on. So here, see, n is 1 into 5 into 9 into 13, so on, till 153. So now it is like we'll find the nth term of this. So that we can write as 1 plus n minus 1 into 4. So it gives me 4n minus 3. So this is another interesting question. I mean, see, the number of trailing zeros would be given by the number of fives and the number of twos. Number of five we can calculate, but number of two, do you think this number will ever be a give a multiple of two? I mean, let us find the number of twos here. So for that we will equate 4n minus 3 is equal to 2k. So 4n minus 3 is a odd number and this is a even number. So it can never be equal. So this equality never holds. Right? This equality never holds. So therefore, uh, so number of trailing zeros would be nothing but 0 because the number of twos is, because index of 2 is 0. Just for the purpose of development of the concept, I discuss here again the to how to find the number of IGP of 5 in n, right? Though it has no purpose in solving this question, we have already obtained the answer here, but just for the sake of your, I mean, understanding, IGP of 5. So again, what we do, we equate this 4n minus 3 as what? We equate this to 5, right? 5k. So what will we get? 4n minus 3 is equal to 5k. This we can write as 4k plus k. So nothing but 4n is equal to 4k plus k plus 3, right? So k is equal to 1 will give this a multiple. So we'll substitute k is equal to 1. So the term become 20k plus k is equal to 1. When put it becomes 5. So rather put, let it be 20x plus 5. So how many values can we take? So the number of 5 is nothing but 153 by 20. So that is nothing but 8 values, 7 point something. So it can uh, take, x can take values from 0 to 1 to up to 7. So 8 values, right? So this is the multiple of 5. Now IGP of 5 square in n. So here again 4n minus 3 is nothing but 25k. So this we can write as 4n is equal to 24k plus k plus 3. So k is equal to 1, satisfy this. So general term we can write as LCM of 25 and 4 is 100 y, and k is equal to 1. When substitute, we get as 100 y plus 25. So how many values we can get? So number of this is Tn. So number of y is equal to 153 by 25 we will do. So it gives me 6 values, I think, right? This is, yeah, so it will, no, no, sorry, 153 minus 25 by 100. So it will give me one decimal something. So I mean y can take which one values? 0 and 1, only two values. Now we will check for 5 raised to power 3. So what we will do, 4n minus 3 is nothing but 125k, k3, let us suppose. So this we can write as 4n is equal to nothing but 124 k3 plus k3 plus 3. So k3 will again take value of 1 for this to satisfy. So Tn we can write as LCM of 125 and 4 is nothing but 500 Z plus k3 is equal to 1. If you put here, we get 125, right? So this we will equate to 153. We get Z is equal to uh, 0 decimal something. So therefore, what all values can Z take? Z can take only 0. So therefore, one value, right? So total values of, or total index of 5. I mean 8 index of 5, then 2 index of 5 square. I mean 2 additional 5 and 1 additional 5 here from 5 cube. So total index of 5 is nothing but 5 raised to power 11. So therefore, number of trailing 0 is equal to 11. No, this we cannot write, because number of trailing 0 will come from 2 also, and since number of 2 is 0, so number of trailing 0 would be 2. Sorry, would be 0. However, the number of, I mean, index of 5 would be 5 raised to power 11. This was just done to show you the process to calculate the index. However, we should be careful for both the powers of 2 and powers of 5, right? Another question we'll see, how many values can n take if n factorial is a multiple of 7 raised to power 20 but not of 7 raised to power 24. So see, here it is like, we know that we have to find the, it's given that n factorial is 7 raised to power 20 k1, but n factorial is not equal to 7 raised to power 24 k2. I mean, that is not a multiple. So certainly we can say the index of 7 in n factorial is less than equal to 23, right? So IGP of 7 in n factorial is less than 23, right? Less than 24 or less than equal to 23, but it should be more than 20, but more than, or more than 19 rather, so that it's greater than equal to 20. So it means that IGP would be somewhere between either 20, 21, 22, 23. Four possible values of IGP is possible, right? So now IGP of 7 in n factorial will be given by what? That is nothing but n by 7 plus n by 7 square plus n by 7 cube, so on till infinity. This is the IGP of 7, index of greatest power of 7, this way we get, and this must be less than equal to n by 7 plus n by 7 square, because this is the integer function, this is the whole function itself till infinity. Now this term is nothing but IGP, and this term is nothing but a GP series. So summation of the GP series would be first term upon 1 minus, here the common ratio is 1 by 7, 1 minus 1 by 7, so it becomes n by 7 into 6 by 7, this is nothing but n by 6, right? So from here we can say that n by 6 greater than equal to IGP, right? This is another, I mean, for in case of IGP of 5, that is a training 0 in factorials, we had got this term as n by 4 greater than equal to IGP. Here in case of 7, it is nothing but n by 6 greater than equal to IGP. So now see, and what are values of possible values of IGP? Possible values of IGP is nothing but what, 20, 21, 22, or 23. These four are the possible values. So what can n take? N can take values, but it should not be more than 24, right? So n by 6 should be greater than equal to 20, right? So from here we get an approximate range that n should be greater than equal to 120. However, IGP should not be 24 or more, right? So n by 6 greater than equal to 24 gives n by 6, rather n greater than equal to 144. So from here what we know ki 144, I mean, this roughly gives me, rather this will be less than equal to, right? So this roughly gives me the range for n, roughly between 120 to 120, 144. I mean, 2 or 3 or 4 points here and there it may go, because this is just a inequality, but it roughly gives me a ideal range ki n will be between this range. So now let us check the value of the IGP of 7 in here. So what is the nearest multiple of 7 here? 120, 119 is the nearest multiple. Okay, so let us check now. IGP of 7 in 120 factorial would be how much? So it is nothing but 7 1 ja 5, 7 7 ja plus 17 by 7 is 2, so it gives 19. So this is not a possible case, because IGP has to be at least 20, right? So I mean on the numbers, therefore numbers from 120, 121 till the next multiple of I mean 119, then the next multiple of 7 is 126. So 120 to 125 IGP is 19. So this is not a possible case, right? This is not a possible case. Now we will take another case here. 126 we will take. Now IGP of 7 in 126 factorial. 126 is the next multiple of 7. This 17 7 ja is 119, 18 7 ja is 120. So next multiple of 7 is 126 factorial. So here we will divide 126 by 7, quotient is 18. 18 further is divided by 7, quotient is 2. So here we get 20 IGP 7. So now this is a varied number. So numbers which are 126, 127, so on, I mean, and what is the next multiple? This is nothing but 7x. So 119, 126, then 133, 140, 147, right? So tin 1 32 IGP would be 20. From 133, 134 till 139, IGP would be how much? Just another multiple of 5, sorry, 7. So IGP would be 21. That we may check also, but we should ensure there's no one multiple of 49 in between. So 49 multiple is 147. So here there will be a power, I mean, index jump, right? Then next would be 140, 141 till 146. It will be 22. IGP is 22, right? Now what happened in case of 147 factorial? 147 factorial, 147 factorial, we know 147 is a multiple of 49, that is 7 square, so there will be two jumps from here. So now in case of in 147 factorial, the number of IGP would be, IGP of 7 would be 24. This we can check also. 147 by 7 it gives 21, and then 21 by 7 is 3, so that is 24, right? This we got directly told here because 22, next number is 147, which is a multiple of 49, right? That is 7 square, so there will be two jump from 22 to 24, which we don't want. We want 20, 21, 22, 23. So 21, 20, 21, 22 is there, 23 is not possible, 24 is the next number. So what are the possible numbers for us? These are the possible numbers from 126 to 146. So how many values? So this is not possible, right? This is also not possible. So the possible values of right, possible values of n would be 126 to 146. How many values is it? Nothing but this is 21 values, I think. Yeah, right, 21 values. So this is the answer. Got the point, I mean, right? So important thing was we need to concentrate on the possible IGP. IGP we got using this relation, we got the broad range in which we have to check that range. We got the, I mean, check the individual IGPs, and we sorted out those cases where the uh, uh, that was not a possible. So here, I mean, 147 and the further numbers were not possible, and 125 and below numbers were not possible. So the possible range was 126 to 146 that we have taken, right? So similar case we will see here again. I mean, another question. Here it says ki n can take any n factorial is a multiple of 7 raised to power 20, but n factorial is not a multiple of 3 raised to power 70 k2, right? So let us see how does this work out. So what does this mean? N factorial is not a multiple of uh, n factorial is not a multiple of 3 raised to power 70, means that IGP of 3 in n factorial will be less than 70, right? Anything between 1 to 70, 0 to 70 it can have. But this is the first interpretation, right? Second interpretation is a multiple of 7 raised to power 20. So n factorial being a multiple of 7 raised to power 20 means that IGP of 7 in n factorial is at least 20 or even more, right? So for 7, I mean, we have seen that n by 6 greater than equal to IGP of 7, right? And for 3 also we can find that n by 2 factorial greater than equal to n by 2 uh, greater than equal to IGP of 2, sorry 3. So these are the two standard relations. You will make use of this to get the range of the numbers. So let us see how to proceed. Here it says IGP of n factorial is at least 20. So IGP of 7, so it means n by 6 greater than equal to 20. So n greater than equal to 120, right? Here we get this. This is a broad range. And from here we get that uh, n by 2 should be less than equal to 70, because maximum IGP will be less than 70. So IGP can be 69, IGP can be a, so IG can P cannot be 70. So n will be less than equal to 140, right? So this is the broad range. Now we will actually check where does the IGP fall. So we will check that in 120 factorial. I mean, in previous question we have seen this. So basically we will check with 126 factorial, because 120 we know IGP of 7 is 19. In 126 factorial, IGP of 7 is nothing but 18 plus 2, which is 20, which is a possible case 20. So it can go from, I mean, so n should be more than, from here we get an approximate range, right? But now using the IGP we'll get the exact thing, will be more than 126. Now IGP of 3 we have to check in 140. Let us check in 140 factorial, how much is it? So 140 by 3, it means that let us see here. I mean, uh, it will be nothing but 3 4 ja 12, 2 3 6 ja, then 15 times it will go, then 15 by 3 is 5, 5 by 3 is 1. So it is nothing but 46 plus 15 is 61, 66, 67. Okay, so I mean we check with another number, right? So let us check with next multiple would be 142, right? 141. 141 is not a multiple of 9, so the power index will increase by just 1, 68. We will check IGP of 3 in 145. I mean, how do we think of 145? You see, the thought would be 145 is a multiple, sorry, 144 factorial, 144. 144 is a multiple of 9, right? Means 3 square. And the multiple of 3 before this is 141. So from 141 to 144 there will be a jump of two numbers. So 141 has 68, so 144 will have 68 plus 2 70. Let us check that. 144 by 3 is 3, 48. 48 by 3 is 16, 16 by 3 is 5, 5 by 3 is 1. So this becomes 5 1 6 6 22, 22 plus 48 is 70, right? So 70. So it means that n factorial, but n factorial has to be less than 70. IGP has to be less than 70. So it means we can take up till 143 factorial. 143 factorial will have 68 IGP of 3 here. So possible range is n greater than equal to 126 from here, and n uh, less than equal to 143. It cannot be 144 because then it will be 70, and it should be less than 70, right? So less than 70 is 68 possible, which is for 143 factorial. So here the range becomes n belongs to 126 to 143. This is nothing but 18 values, right? So 18 values of n possible. This is the answer. So hope the process, approach, and understanding was fine. I mean, how to approach this question. I mean, this we can enhance the speed anytime just with the practice, but getting onto the concept is important. If question of this nature appears in CAT, then that will be really helpful to solve. And it's not going to take more than a minute and a half or two. I mean, less than 2 minutes you can solve this if you have a hang of the things how to move ahead. So now we will see into another important concept, which is last non-zero digit of n. This we will take in another session. So we'll stop the session here, end the session here only for the index of greatest power. Hope the things were clear. If you have any query, just post in the comment box. Thanks for watching the video.